I'm Dolly Dao. I'm from the Role Model Rebels Network. I'm very proud to belong to this prestigious organization that inspires women and people from all around the world. I'm Australian, from a Lebanese background, and a Francophone upbringing and education. It's very important to mention these three cultures in my story because they form part of my professional and my personal identity. I've had a really international upbringing, speaking three languages, French, English, and Arabic. But most importantly, I've had an international journey earlier on in my life, which I bring into my career now, working across continents between Australia, France, China, the Middle East, and other countries, of course, and continents. I'm an interior designer, and I hold a PhD in the fields of interior architecture, urban design with an anthropology approach. My main mission is to design for communities with purpose and impact. I run workshops that have a real value at the end to the stakeholders, specifically to the community, with ecological and economical benefits for the organizations. Especially these days with the climate crisis, I guide companies, I guide students and corporations how to align with government policies to ensure that they are actually complying with the sustainable policies set by their local governments and the UN. I lived and worked in Lebanon, Jordan, Australia, United Arab Emirates, France, and China. My passion is implementing strategies for growth in the public and private sectors and institutes, especially in the field of food design or food innovation. And that's why I run design strategy workshops and community projects. My workshops have a really final outcome within 6 days or within a month, depends on what the organization, what the institute's requirements are. So they're very bespoke and they can be tailor-fit to suit certain needs. And they can be performed around the world, face-to-face, remotely, hybrid, fidget, in any format that the organization or the institute requires from school children to higher education students, master, PhD, executive education, and of course, policy making workshops. The specific qualities, so here I am, I'm actually asked to deliver or to answer 7 leadership questions. So here they are, very quickly. The specific qualities that I believe have been crucial to my success. I would say there are 2 qualities. You've got the hard skills and soft skills. The specific skills that I have is, for hard skills, are strategic thinking that spans across professions and continents, and the ability to connect with people, so network with people in order to create the right project for the right purpose. My superpower are running and facilitating workshops, so I know that I can get the best out of people within a certain amount of time, and I know how to get the outcome that is required across sectors again. So my superpower is to be able to collaborate between design, science, and business. It depends on the brief that's required. My other superpower that helped in my success is writing, because I have a passion for it and I just love to do it. Soft qualities, perseverance, hard work, and being open and adaptable to new experiences and cultures and dialogues. Not being set in my mind to say, I'm right, I'm always right. The advice that I would actually like to give young women who are aspiring to succeed in this industry, I've got 2 industries I'm talking about here, the design and academia. So the industry is, for the design, I would say, and actually for academia, I would say confidence. To believe in oneself is a great gift, and to have that confidence to to have that confidence to thrive no matter what other people's opinions are. So they can give you the feedback that you need to get to succeed in what you need to, where you need to go. But at the end of the day, believe in yourself. That belief is going to save you in the long run, because you're not basically a leaf in the wind. You're not going to change your mind about yourself based on other people's opinions of you and of your work. So just confidence. And with work, don't take it personally. It's just the nature of the beast. So focus on yourself, not on people, to be able to succeed. Also, I would say that in both the advice that I would wish to, that I have known when I was starting my career, and I actually did that, experiment earlier on. Be able to work across sectors and with different people. And when you do that, you realize that what works for you and what doesn't, and which area you would like to go into, especially that design and academia. Both sectors are quite diverse and they branch off to many specializations. So my advice would be take calculated risks to experiment and follow your passion with what works for you. A major setback. Major setback in my career, I've had many, and many of them are self-inflicted. Just not making, there's no right or wrong decision. It's just not making the decision or that I wanted to make, or the decision did not go my way. Things did not go my way, so there was a setback. It's just, and I would actually say the challenge has always will be there. But I know that the small challenges that I have encountered in my life, in the long run, they have become the details that contributed in building my story and my career now. So challenges are not a bad thing to me. They're actually opportunities for growth and expansion. And when people say that to you, it doesn't, when I say that to you, I mean it, because I'm talking from experience. The major challenge that I've had would be working across cultures and moving to actually work in a different culture, a new language, new people, new network every time. That always has been, I wouldn't say a setback, but it's always been a challenge. And it could be a setback if I did not know how to approach that job or approach that culture. And the way I dealt with the challenge was to just respect and understand before you start to change. Respect the culture that you're going into, respect, understand it, know why they're doing the things that they do, before you start putting your own touches onto it, because your touches might not be adequate or appropriate for that culture. I maintain a life-work balance by focusing on the present moment and by focusing on the task at hand. So when I'm working, I'm giving it my 100%, nothing personal. I just do what I have to do to get the job done within a certain amount of time. And when I'm playing and when I'm having a good time, there's no work. So I have a clear cut and a clear distinction between work and play. And I establish boundaries with people not to bother me during that time. So 100% focus on work when you're working, 100% focus on your, life, on your life when you're not at work. And that's how I do it. It doesn't always work, and there are days better than others. But at least I know that I give myself at least 10 minutes of my time every day for me. You have to fill your cup before you fill other people's cups. So make sure you do that. A mentor or role model that has greatly influenced my career. There are so many. In every stage of my career I've been lucky enough and blessed enough to have support. I would say the biggest role model in my life would be my mom. She has a tendency to overcome challenges and hardships. And I come from a very strong family line of strong women. But mostly I would say that the biggest role model is in my life has been the fairy tales I used to actually listen to before I go to sleep. They were not the typical fairy tales that girls would listen to. So they were stories of historical women that have made a difference in history, like Cleopatra, for example. That was my bedtime story. So the biggest story that resonates with me, and I feel that this is what I'm doing in a way, but in a modern version, would be Elissa, the Phoenician princess Elissa, who sailed from her homeland in Lebanon, in Phoenicia at the time, and went on to Carthage and established a kingdom, a huge empire that later on was challenging the Roman Empire back in the time. So I do feel that resonated with me in terms of conquering new territories and traveling and going to unknown land and setting up a challenge for myself and conquering that challenge. That has been the biggest role model for me in my life. But throughout my career, I've had lots of mentors in education, in research, in leadership, from my PhD supervisors to my lecturers at uni to my immediate bosses that I've actually worked with and directors. Each one of them contributed to give me advice and to give me some skill sets that I still use till now. I listened to and I observed what they did, whether they would give me direct advice through words or through actions. I would observe and listen and take it in. And I still use these guidance till now. Building aspiring, strong network. That's what I love to do in life. I love to actually connect people and build networks. And my biggest advice would be, when you're building a network, don't build it for business. Build it for friendships. I don't make business partners, I make friends. So when I'm networking, if I can't create a synergy, if I can't feel a synergy between me and the person that I'm networking with, it means that we can't do a project together. So when you're networking, take a genuine interest in people, in what they do and why they do it and how do they do it and how can you contribute to what they're doing, how can you help. I find that extremely helpful when I'm networking, because people sense it when you just need them for business, and that's a big put off during networking events or when you're talking to them. So be kind. Another advice, meaning that be kind to your network. Always offer help if you can, because at some stage you're going to receive it as well. So I would say, just create friendships, not business acquaintances, because business acquaintances, they might go once the project is finished, but friends, professional friends, stay forever. Example of projects I've initiated. Oh my God, there are so many. And each one of them I had a passion for. I can't work on a project if I'm not passionate about. So I would say my PhD, that's been my biggest passion. And what motivated me was, my PhD was on the effect of war and violence on cities. I wanted to know, why do people destroy their own homeland? What reasons? That has been a big motivation for me. Establishing the interior architecture program at Swinburne University, because when I was a student, I had a dream. If I was given the opportunity to design my own program, what would it look like? And I was able to do that at Swinburne University. So I realized my dream and I built a 4-year accredited interior architecture program, still running till now. Director of Food Design Lab. This job changed my life. My overview about food systems, climate change, sustainability just opened my eyes completely and utterly to new areas, professional areas I did not think about before. What motivated me was the challenge to go and live in France, which has always been my dream. So I've realized another dream, another milestone that I ticked of my bucket list. And one of the community projects I've realized was the Beirut Identity Competition for Cumulus Association. After the explosion on the 4th of August 2020 in Beirut that destroyed the entire city, I felt so angry, really angry. Enough is enough violence, that I contacted my international network straight away, and within 2 days we developed a competition working directly with NGOs in Lebanon to help the Lebanese community rebuild their lives in whatever way we can, even small initiatives. So any project I do it with passion, and most likely if it's a spontaneous project, that's great, because your experience will save you to actually get things done really quickly. So this has been my story. These have been my projects that I have developed throughout my career, and I do hope that you'll be able to listen to the story. Something will resonate, and we'll be able to collaborate together and inspire each other and motivate each other on this wonderful network. Thank you for listening.